Why do women love staying on the damn phone? Obviously, by now you guys know I have the gift of gab. I like talking on rants, I like making reviews, I'm aspiring to make a living off of doing YouTube stuff and doing stuff on the radio, so yeah, I like to talk. I better like to talk because I'm in the wrong field if I don't. But just because I like to talk does not mean I like a phone attached to my ear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But for women, it's like an extra appendage. They have to have this phone attached to them, whether it be a cell phone, a home phone, whether they're talking to family, their boyfriend, their husband. If they are not speaking on a phone, even if they're speaking on the phone with a person they just saw the entire day, it's like their life is a lost cause. And of course, as a guy, even though most men can give a crap about the phone, we are dragged into the telecommunications nightmare along with them, and we have absolutely no choice in the matter. Joy. So I'm going to share with you 3 dating nightmares that involve the phone, so let's get into it. The first situation involved phone sex. Yes, phone sex. And my take on it is, it's one step above cyber sex. It's pointless, you're just talking on the phone, and it's really awkward. Hey, if you like it yourself and you get into it, great, but it's not my thing. But it was definitely this girl I used to date's thing. Here's the story. So this girl I actually met at one of my old jobs. We actually hung out a few times. It worked out very well. She seemed really nice, really sweet, really innocent, which I found out later that she wasn't. So we were working out well. You know, she was actually fun to talk to on the phone. She was fun to hang out with in person, and we were starting to click. Anyway, it was a Saturday midday. This is when I had 2 roommates where I used to live in Poughkeepsie. And she calls me up and she was like, hey, what are you doing right now? I'm like, not too much. Just kind of getting stuff together, ready to do what I have to do today. What are you doing? She's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, what do you mean? Here I'm thinking she wants to hang out. Sweet, score, da-da-da-da-da. She was like, let's have phone sex. And I'm like, no, I have my 2 roommates and their 2 girlfriends outside right now, and they're playing Madden, and my room is right next door. She got mad at me. She was like, what, are you not into me? I'm like, are you serious? I'm not gonna sit here like a freak moaning when my friends are 4 inches away from me. I was like, I can't do it today. How about we just hang out in person, get a drink, and then go from there? She was like, no, I've never been rejected before. If you don't do this with me on the phone right now, we're not talking anymore. I was like, if I do this with you, I'm never gonna be able to live it down and be known as a perverted freak by everyone in my county. At that point, she got really insulted and told me to forget that she exists. Wow. Moving on, nightmare number 2. So there was this girl I actually met down in Manhattan, and she ended up living fairly close to me. We hung out a couple times. It did work out very well. The second date went amazing, and we hung out probably for 12 hours that day. We called off at like 11 o'clock at night. I was exhausted. I needed to go home. Happy but exhausted. I needed to get up for work. So I drive home. I go into my room, lay in my bed, pass the hell out, and then all of a sudden the damn phone rings. And she was like, hey, it's Robin. And I'm like, hey, how are you? We just hung out for an entire day about 30 minutes ago. What's going on? She was like, oh, nothing. Here I'm thinking, okay, she just wants to say goodnight. We had a really good time. Quick good night, get off the phone, fall back asleep again. Wrong. She actually wanted to chat again, knowing that I had to be at work at 6 a.m. Now, after hanging out with someone for 12 hours, what could be so important to talk about? Explain that to me. Unless she had $1 million for me, had a medical emergency, or she grew a penis and grew wings and is flying around the city with her newly found wings and gigantic penis and slapping people with it, it could have not been that interesting that we did not talk about it in the previous 12 hours. So even though deep inside I am raging right now, I say to her kindly, look, can we talk in the morning? I have to be up for work at 6 a.m. and I have a lot of things to do. Can we talk tomorrow? She copped an attitude, hung up the phone on me, and we never spoke again. And thank God. Nightmare number 3. So just before I got laid off from my previous job, I met this girl there, and she was very nice, but very boring, and she loved to talk on the phone. And for the love of Christ, I thought she was boring in person. She was like 30 times more lame on the phone. I mean, it was so bad that if you gave me the choice between rubbing my face in Al Roker's chest hair or talking to her on the phone, I really would have had to think about it. So this dating scenario comes to a tragic end when I was talking on the phone with her one night, and we were on the phone for about 2 hours. Now, like I told you guys, I do a lot of my work at night. I do my job hunting at night, I do my YouTube videos at night, I do my podcast at night. Nighttime is when I do my thing. So after having an uber exciting 2-hour conversation with her that was more painful than getting needles poked in every part of my body, I told her, look, I really need to get off the phone now. I have some things I have to do, and I'm getting tired, so I want to get them done before I go to sleep. Oh my god. First off, after I said that, there was just silence. I thought the phone disconnected. I'm like, hello, are you there? She says to me in the most demonic tone I have ever heard a female say anything in.
Oh, I must be boring you then.
And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, yes, you really are. But of course, I try to be nice and say, no, I just have to get off. I have things to do. I mean, we've been on the phone for 2 hours. I just have some things I have to do before I go to bed. She says, you call me when you feel like calling me, and hung up abruptly. And I never felt like calling her, ever again. So I will end this rant by kindly begging all the women of the world, please, cut us some slack with the phone. Every dude in the world begs you. This is Rich of Review Tech USA. Save us all.